Hello guys, Adam here from Not Toys Action Figures, bringing you another action figure review. And look, we have something different for the channel. It's not Power Rangers and it's not Lightning Collection. It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and specifically these Mutant Mayhem figures from the new movie that is coming out. And yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I've been kind of wanting to get into them for a while, but there is so many figures from so many different, like, there's the comic book ones, there are the animated series ones, there are the original, like, remakes of the toy line ones from the 90s. Not really got, like, nowhere to get in. And yeah, this new movie's coming out, so I thought, you know what, these figures, they're actually relatively cheap. Like, they are 15 euros each, which is, when you put that into context, is about half the price of a Lightning Collection figure here in Austria. So I thought, you know what, let's pick them up, let's have a look at them, get them out on the channel. And yeah, if they're nice figures and if you guys enjoy them, you can see on the back we have more to collect. So there is still Splinter to get, there is Rocksteady, there is Bebop, there is Superfly, and there is Leatherhead. And yeah, we just went for the base ones, and you can already see that they have a lot of nods to a lot of previous characters. Don't worry, this bit of white is on the packaging, not on on Michelangelo's nose. So don't worry too much about that. And I'm actually going to break the video into two parts. So there's going to be one video, I think I'm going to review these two today, Michelangelo and Leonardo, and the next video will be on Raffi and Donatello. So let's get them out of the box and have a look at them. Sorry to any of you carded collectors here, but look, get a load of this. I release you from your plastic tomb. Okay, so I managed to get them all open, and you might notice that there is more than just Leonardo and Michelangelo here. As I was opening them up, I was like, you know what, I want to see them all together, because I was having so much fun just opening these guys up. Because yeah, like I said, they are a cheap option, but as I was opening them, they have like basic but very good articulation, I'd say. You can see here that they get into nice poses, and the figures themselves, they also have kind of like a mix of like kind of simplicity. Like there's nothing like too crazy about them, but they also have some really nice detail. Like you can see there, Raphael, he has the battle damage, and also the character design looks cool. Like he has more of a balaclava or a bandana, whereas the other ones have more of this kind of just this eye cover, which I guess, is that a bandana maybe? I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but I can't remember. And then you go to Donatello, and he has the glasses, and we'll get closer looks at them later, but you can see down here he has like a satchel with like a smartphone in it. Ooh, wrong way. And then you go across to Leo, and Leo is, I would say, the most basic of them. For what you think of as like, okay, this is the design for this Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is just like how I imagined him. Obviously, he's a bit more stylized for the movie, and then you have Michelangelo, who kind of has this goofy grin on his face. He also has like a different shade of green to the others. I mean, actually, yeah, they actually all have different shades of green. Now that I'm looking through the lens of the phone, like I'd say Donatello and Leonardo have the closest shade of green, but they are all different colors. And then, yeah, they do come with some accessories. So you can see here we have these baby turtles, I'm assuming. Randomly, Donatello comes with a pair of headphones, which you can put on his head, which I did. And then about a second later, they flew off into the air. And they also then come with these kind of like these, you know, these are like the throwbacks to the 90s toys. And yeah, actually, you can see here, as I was opening up the packets, I cut myself with my Stanley knife. So I think that one's from Leonardo. Then we have this one from, I believe, Raphael. This one has like the much more aggressive looking weapons, and you can see there's like the pizzas there. This one is from Michelangelo. Pretty cool. I think this is a nod to one of the Turtles in Disguises that they did, like a disco Michelangelo. And then the final one was from Donatello, which has kind of like a pike. And some other weapons, also the pizza there. So if you wanted, you can use these accessories as actual accessories or weapons. I'm going to keep them all on the racks because I think it's just kind of cool, and yeah, I like to keep the stuff together. But yeah, let's go through the turtles one by one, and then we'll put them in another pose. Okay, and if we're looking at them one by one, who better else to start with than the leader, Leonardo? And they all do have like little tag names, I would say, or kind of like nicknames. So Leonardo is the leader, Raffi is the angry one, Donatello is the smart one, and then Michelangelo is the entertainer. And yeah, you can see, like I said, like there's nothing too fancy about the articulation. If we just look at the articulation first and take off his sword, probably not going to do the articulation for every character, but just looking at that, like look how cool it looks. Like you can see, like I said, obviously it's stylized for the movie, but you can see with the figures that they've gone for these kind of like these mouths that you got on the original. I think it was like the late 80s or the 90s action figures where they had these weird kind of 8-shaped mouths for each of them. And obviously you have the coloured, I'm going to say bandana, but I don't think that is a bandana. Like the coloured sash around it, it's nice and thick, so it really stands out on the face. And what I like about these character designs, and what I don't like about some other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle designs, is they have pupils. It's not just white eyes. And then if we get kind of like a close look, you can see here there is like a kind of texture on his arms to give him kind of like a reptilian texture. We have this kind of bandana coming over here where we have his holster for his 2 katanas, which is really cool. This is something that doesn't always shouldn't be taken for granted that it would be cool to have things to hold weapons on action figures. Like I think the best line that does it is the G.I. Joe Classified series, but this is just a very simple put them behind, and now he's kind of looking cheeky, I would say, more than dangerous. So if we continue on, you can see here this really nicely painted L. We have some throwing stars. We have a really nicely painted buckle, so a nice little bit of detail. The detail goes all around. You can see here there is the health and safety stuff on the back. That's not my favorite thing, but it's nice here that they sculpted in some of like the cloth. If we look at his articulation, his head is basically just on a swivel, so he goes all the way there, he goes all the way there, and it actually does get a little bit of tilt up and down, which is nice. And then of course you have this kind of the rest of the sash going off. Like there's no actual movement to it, it just moves around as you move it. If we look at his shoulder, it has a joint coming out to here. It has like a nice rotation all the way around, which is cool. And then the elbow is kind of hidden under this sash, which I like, and it's just like a single pinned elbow, so it doesn't go up all the way, but you do get like a little bit of range of movement of it, so you can twist it somewhat and get a little bit more range. I think, let me just move these guys because my camera is focusing on them. So you do get a bit more range, like in other places if you want. It's not just this. So you can turn it, but obviously you want to be careful of the joint that you don't break the joint. Go down to the wrist just turns on its axis, at least this one. There's no tilt or anything. On this side, it's the same. There is no crunch, so this torso is all just one big piece. As you can see here, there's nothing there, so we can't crunch it. But the legs themselves, again, they just have a joint, so you kind of, if you try doing it like this, then the legs don't go very far, but you can turn it to the side and get like a little bit out there. And again, the knee joint is hidden by this sash, so you can also like put in the knee. The knee has a bit more range than the elbow, and you can get him into some kind of like crouched positions, which is perfect for his katanas, obviously. So here, he looks ready to fight. My biggest issue with the articulation is the feet. There is no rocker or no movement at all, except from side to side, and that's very important. Mostly in action figures, you want them to stand up, and a lot of that comes from the feet having rockers. These guys don't have them, so although you can kind of get the legs into positions you want, the feet are very, very kind of standard. So you have to play around a little bit with getting the feet there, but yeah, that's it. And like I said, he comes with his 2 katanas. The katanas are quite straightforward. All of the weapons are quite straightforward, to be honest. They're kind of like this grey metallic look with a handhold that's made out of orange. Again, kind of also reminds me of the 90s a lot. And then his other main, that's Michelangelo, sorry. His other main accessory is the tiny turtle, the baby turtle. So I guess this is how Splinter finds him at the start of the movies. And if we just go through the other guys, just to look at them a little bit closer. Here is Michelangelo. Like I said, he has a bit of like a darker color. He comes with his nunchucks. Again, you can place them on the back, which is quite interesting because those open up. So you can kind of just push them in. Give me one sec. Okay, it took me a while, but I managed to get them in. That wasn't the easiest thing in the world. But yeah, so obviously the articulation is the same, but he has a different head sculpt. So again, they've gone for kind of like this goofier smile more of like a Hey Arnold shaped head, like football head. Again, he has some nice detail on him. Probably the plainest actually out of all of the turtles. He has the texture on his arms. He doesn't really have much going on here, but it is still kind of like nicely sculpted. There are a few nicks where, I'm assuming, training, he's been hit by one of his brothers. We go down to the belt again. Nice M, really nicely painted on. A nice belt buckle paint. I can't overstate how nice it is to see a good belt buckle paint job, because that is not, even in like Hasbro stuff, that is not like it's not always the case. And another nice looking figure. My one nitpick with this figure would be, and it's for pretty much any figure that comes with nunchucks, I really would love them to have like an actual chain, because you saw it how he was stood there. I'm not a big fan of like the nunchucks just hanging in the air, because in real life, they would hang down. But that's a nitpick, it is what it is. Then if we have a look at Raphael, so Raphael again is kind of a bit bigger than the other guys. He has some more kind of obvious battle scars to him. He has some scuffs, he has some nicks. Again, he has like a nice belt with the R painted on it, the buckle. He has like a little bag there to hold something, I guess. He has a nice decoration on his shell as well, really nice one. His face, he's the angry one, so he's got like a kind of angry grimace on there, but again, looks really cool. I really love the green and red, and again, just his little detail of making the red go all the way over his head just makes him stand out as more of like the aggressive one, I would say, and the angry one, and this grimace too. Then he has his scythes. Again, I like these because they have some like battle damage to them, so it looks like they've been used, but they are more or less basically the grey with the brown plastic, and everything else is there. Articulation is the same. My nitpick for this figure is I would have loved for him to be able to actually hold the scythe through his like hands, like through his fingers, like he does on the promotion art. That would have been cool, but yeah, we can't have everything because, like I said, this is quite like a cheaper line, and I suppose meant for made for kids. But yeah, we also get some nice holders there, so we can hold his weapons. And finally, Donatello. Like I said, Donatello, I would say he's actually the most detailed. Like he comes with the glasses. He has like a kind of smirk again that is very reminiscent of the the old toys. He comes with his bow or his long stick. I would have liked it if they painted it. Like, I know they didn't really paint any of the other orange parts of any of the other figures, but this would have been nice to be painted as like a cloth color, just so it looks less plasticky, because now it just looks like a cheap plastic toy, which I guess is what it is. But having just that little bit of paint there would have been nice, just to show it off as like, okay, this is actually a stick wrapped in cloth rather than just a piece of plastic. If we look at him, like I said, I really like his face. He has the glasses. The glasses are kind of glued on here behind his non-existent ears. Then we go down to his body. Again, he looks quite, he's kind of feels lean compared to the other ones. And he has this like fanny pack here, what goes around. Again, it's nicely put around his belt. He has a holder for his bow. And he has looks like a smartphone sticking out of it. And again, like, he was the only one to come with like side kind of accessory of this. So okay, I guess it's not glued on, but it's just pegged on the glasses. But that's an easy fix. I'll probably do that off camera. But yeah, he comes with these, which he can try to fit onto his head somewhere. But again, they don't really sit well, because if it's down here, it's obviously too low. So it wants to be about there. But now his glasses are messed up. Yeah, a bit random, because I think in like his official art, he doesn't have the headphones on. Maybe you can get them around his neck or something like that, but then the tassels are out of the way. But yeah, interesting that they had it. Like with the other Rangers, we have the turtles there, which is a nice to have thing. But yeah, that's the Rangers and the Rangers. I keep saying Rangers. That's the turtles and their articulation. Let's put them in another pose, and then we'll end the episode. Okay, and as promised, we put them in one more pose, and here they are, all ready to fight, apart from maybe Mikey, who's just kind of stood there grinning. But yeah, just to conclude, I really like these figures. These are really cool. They're really like just simple, and what I liked is that they just feel sturdy. Like, you can tell that they're toys. Like they're made not to break easily. Whereas with a lot of Hasbro stuff and Super 7 and other kind of action figures and collectibles, you're always so scared to move them around in case something breaks, because they're so delicate. But these guys, I just kind of had fun just playing with them, like just seeing what they can do. Like I know that they're very limited, but it just was fun to just test them out and just kind of move them around and put them in poses and like just yeah, like I'm really cool. I think this is really cool that Leonardo there can reach up to pull his katana out, and like I said, as a team they look great. I will say one more criticism is that they are back heavy, so like their shells do weigh quite a bit, especially Donatello. I don't know if it's because he's so thin and lean, but his shell really makes him hard to stand up and get him into any kind of really interesting poses. I have him here. You can kind of see there a bit of like behind the scenes magic, like in quotations, that he's leaning on Raphael, who is much easier to stand up because he's a lot bigger, so he can hold up his shell a lot better. But yeah, guys, I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think about these figures. Let me know down in the comments. Are you going to go see the movie? This episode should be going out the day the movie comes out. So yeah, if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. Obviously, no spoilers, please. And yeah, also if you want to see more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle content, also let me know, because I really like these figures. They're relatively easy to get in Austria, which is not always the case with collectible action figures. So, you know, if you want to see Splinter or Bebop or Rocksteady, or if you want to try and finish the line, if these videos do well and you want to see it, then we'll definitely get some more. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.